Good evening, Professor Pittman here. Here we go. Key number 5 is focus on your vision and understand that to really succeed, keep your eyes on your vision. To get sidetracked on some sort of tangent only serves to take you further from your goals. So this is a checkup from the neck up. You know, sometimes we try to avoid things. We try to avoid hard work, or we try to avoid some of the conflicts that are created by some of the decisions or the steps that we know that we've made. The key is to put your blinders on. Just stay focused on your vision. Don't be distracted by all the hogwash. You know, I can honestly say I'm not distracted by hogwash. I'm not. I've learned that if I don't get distracted, things get better. You know, I don't look at what's going on in magazines. I don't compare myself to other people. I don't look at what the guy down the street's doing. You know, I just look forward. I'm not looking side to side. I'm not going to allow myself to be distracted. The direction that I'm going, I know, is in fact the direction I'm going, and you will not pull me off course. And the easy way to afford that to ourselves is what? Have a vision. Focus on it. Train yourself to not be distracted. Don't get sidetracked. Don't have a concern for what the other guy's doing. Only have a concern for what you did and what you're going to do next. So focus on your vision. That's the key. Here's 3 examples. I'll give you an example of a business example, my profession, and a long-term relationship example. So here we go. Business. The other day, a guy pulled me to the side, and he wanted me to go into business with him. And he wanted me to do this thing, the other thing, and that thing. And I finally just said, listen, thank you very much. I'm not interested. It's not congruent with the direction I'm going. He said, oh, but there's so much money. And I said, well, obviously you don't know who you're talking to. And I'd also suggest that if you get involved into something solely for the money, that's precisely, it's not going to work out long term. And also in my mind, I was thinking, you know, for this guy to say, oh, there's so much money, and he didn't even ask me how my life is moving forward, tells me that he's a bit shallow-minded and that this conversation just needs to be ended. It doesn't need to go any further. And I started talking like that a little bit. And anyway, this guy got offended, and he told me how offended he was. And I had to say, listen, you're welcome to enjoy this sense of offendedness that you have, but listen closely. If you want to solicit people into this cause of yours, find out what they're really and truly all about first. And then you can determine if it's really worth talking about. So that's an interesting conversation because, you know, I think it applies to this key. My point is, I'm not even going to consider it. I know what I'm going towards, and we're going to move towards that. If it's not consistent, then let's get rid of it. You know, in regards to what I teach, for example, a student came to me the other day and said, hey, listen, Mr. Pittman, so-and-so said that you're a high-ranking black belt in karate, and you taught kickboxing at one time. You're going to be teaching us to do hitting and all that kind of stuff. And I said, no, we're not going to be teaching you to hit. We're going to be teaching karate. This is a family jiu-jitsu academy. It's 100% jiu-jitsu. And if the entire family cannot train in the same class, in the same thing, the same way, with the same focal point, and it's not 100% jiu-jitsu, listen, we're not going to do it. It's not what I believe in. It's not part of my self-concept. It's not part of my vision. And I guess I'm saying that because, you know, one of the things I've learned is that most people get sidetracked or they get off track because they have no sense of vision, and they're not able to focus, and they're not focused, and they're distracted easily. They're like a puppy dog in a yard, squirrel, and then they chase the squirrel. Heck, even our culture teaches this. You know, when I look around, I see people chasing the latest and greatest shiny object. You know, back in the day, 20 years ago, I used to teach kickboxing, karate, jiu-jitsu, and this and that. And I look back and I think, okay, what was I thinking? Well, I was thinking, if I could provide all these things, then something good would happen. So I thought it was the thing. I thought if I present the right thing, I could build a great academy. And experience has taught me that, no, you just got to become the right person. It's not the thing, it's who you get to become by participating in this thing. That's the thing. I hope that makes sense. Or how about applying this key to long-term relationships? You know, you receive a heart wound from a family member. And on top of that, you've got a lifetime of accumulated resentments. And as you're going through this forgiveness process, this person persists in being unfair. Consider this. Choose to stay focused on the forgiveness process. And the reward is not that the person changes. The reward is who you get to become through the forgiveness process. And understand that. So that becomes the catalyst so that you can truly keep exploring and working and focusing your energy on that specific goal. And the vision is to understand that each time you have to forgive, moving forward in the future, the forgiveness process becomes easier and faster, and each time you're going to grow a little stronger and a little freer. You know, knowing how to forgive also is preparation. You know, it's also preparation for the injuries and the pain that's going to come down your pipeline in the future, because we all know that no one is immune to suffering and injustice and unfairness. And those of you who take yourself through a forgiveness process can in fact face the future with the knowledge that, no matter what happens, I can forgive. Even if it's, even if the unthinkable happens, I can say to myself, this is absolutely an injustice. I'm angry about it. I have a right to be angry about it. But I do know that I can make a decision to take myself through a very correct process and forgive and be free and free others. The biggest threat to long-term relationships is unforgiveness. And you're going to have to learn some stuff about it. And the learning is not going to be easy. And you're going to have to take some steps to change. And it's training. And training, it's a punishing enterprise. It's difficult, but it ain't wrong. It ain't wrong because it's difficult. So you got to get your strategy, because in you not having a vision, you're not going to be giving of yourself. And when you don't give of yourself, in you not giving, the relationship has no chance. So in closing, the key, though, or the key to employing a steadfast strategy is, once you put it in place, you don't get sidetracked. And the way you do that is you focus on the direction that you're going. So there you have it. That's my thoughts on key number 5. Again, it's always my pleasure working with you. I look forward to seeing you on the mat next time. In the meantime, keep the faith, keep working, and God bless.